Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Better Minecraft. In this episode we're going to be farming. Let's get into it. Now I think I found what is probably the perfect area that we can build a farm at. There's this massive flat meadows biome right next to our castle base, so this is where we're going to build our farm. Before we do anything though, we're going to have to collect some materials, and that probably involves mining a lot of spruce. So I think let's just get into it. And boom, just like that, we got an absolute ton of resources. And I don't even know what I'm going to be making this build out of, but I just assumed that would probably use some kind of combination of spruce, oak, and stone. So I think we've got like all our bases covered here. I think this is the block palette that I'm going to end up using. I'm using these like different variations of chipped stone and then this chipped reinforced stripped spruce. And I'll probably use some like planks and stuff. Yeah, so I think this is gonna look good. So I think what I want to do first is build a bit of like a barn or like a stable, I guess, where we can kind of store, or not store, but we can keep animals, horses and cows and sheep. So yeah, I think that might be a good idea. I'm probably gonna get a bit of like a layout kind of sorted in a minute, and I'll show you that. Okay, so I've got a bit of a layout going here. So basically, I think we're gonna have one. This is gonna be like the main room of the stable, the barn, I guess. And then off to the side, these are gonna be like two little stables that we can have cows or horses. And then coming across here, I think we'll have like a big pen, and this is gonna be kind of like an outside area, I guess. So yeah, I think that should be pretty good. I think now I'm just gonna build it up, do a little bit of a time lapse, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so this is how the barn is kind of coming along. I think it's looking pretty good. In the end, I ended up making the most of it out of strip spruce and some spruce planks. But I did use a little bit of dark oak just for like the roof trim, and I think that looks pretty good. Just adds a little bit more contrast, I guess. And then just regular oak planks for the rest of the roof. I think we could do with maybe some kind of variation in these oak planks. But the problem is, all the chip blocks, they don't have slab and stair variations, so if I was going to do that, I'd probably have to use copycat blocks, and those can be a little bit expensive, so I don't know if I've got the resources for that right now. Maybe there's another block with a slab variation that will look good, but I've not found it yet. But yeah, I've added a couple I've got some like water troughs here, and I need to fill these up, but I don't have the water right now. And then these are kind of like little feeding troughs, so you can fill these up with hay. And I think if you have animals like in the area, they'll automatically breed using these troughs, which is kind of handy. Although I feel like that can maybe lead to a bit of an overpopulation issue. But then when you come indoors, we've got a couple of these individual kind of stalls, I guess, or stables. And so we could probably have maybe a couple horses in here, and then a bunch of random storage and some hay bales, of course. And then going upstairs, kind of a lot of the same really. This is just some of the storage and some more hay bales. We can kind of look out over the distance. You can see our castle from here. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. All really that we need to do now, apart from like seeing if we can add some more variation to the oaks, is I want to fill the floor in here maybe with some, I want to make it look like it's kind of well trodden, so probably maybe some coarse dirt, or I know the chip blocks do work with dirt, so I'll have to see if there's anything that that kind of works well. Yeah, we've got to do that. And then also I want to make a big kind of fenced in area roughly around here. This kind of area here, I want to have like a big fence, just so we could keep some cows and sheep just kind of out in the open. I don't really want them getting in here, so maybe I'll add like a fence across here. But yeah, I think this is coming along pretty well. Alright, so I've kind of cleared out the floor here. I think I'm going to fill it in with kind of like a bit of a mixture of coarse dirt, and then I made this is called trodden dirt, and you make it using this botanist workbench. So you just put in dirt and you can get trodden dirt out of it. I was looking at like using packed mud, but I think that's just it's a bit of a pain to use, so I think I'm not gonna use that right now. But something else we can do as well, we can use this trowel. Basically it will just randomize the blocks for us, so that I don't have to worry about like making sure it looks random, because the trowel is doing it automatically. It just saves a lot of time, which is going to be super handy. Alright, so I think that's starting to look pretty good. The variation definitely makes it look a bit better than just having plain dirt. And I think one other thing I might do is, because like around this area there's going to be a more high volume of animals that would be in this area, so it would make sense that that this is kind of a bit more well trodden. So we can kind of do something maybe a little bit like that, and then it's just spread it out a bit so it looks a bit more even. I think that looks pretty good, and then we can do this on the other side as well. I think this just makes sense, to be honest. Yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. Alright, so now probably need to do a little bit of kind of clearing. Like we got this big kind of block of dirt here, and that probably needs to go. And I think maybe around here I might build it up a little bit. I'm just gonna build up the level around to maybe about this area, and then clear off this area. So yeah, I think we'll do that. Alright, so that's the terraforming done. I think it's looking, yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think definitely gives us kind of a better base to work from. It means we can basically, now the next step is just to build a fence that kind of goes all the way around here, and then we can try and wrangle in whatever animals we can get. But yeah, it's good so far. What's great about these fences in this mod pack is that we got diagonal fences, which is, yeah, that's pretty cool. It looks pretty good. Alright, so that is the outside pen all finished. I've kind of just like curved it around, just roughly kind of curved it around. It's not exactly precise, but I think that is kind of what I'm going for. And then I've added these just kind of archways, I guess, just so I know, or it just shows where the entrances and exits are. So we got like 3 kind of dotted around, so that should make it pretty easy to get in and out. And then I've got these pressure plates, just so I don't have to remember to close the gates every time, because I don't want all the animals getting out. I guess now all we have to do is try and get some animals in there. which should be easier said than done. Alright, so we're definitely going to need some wheat, and luckily I've got quite a lot here already. I did see some cows up here, so I think we can like try and get a couple cows in here first. Oh, I just remembered. Wait, I think I should be able to. Yes. Wait, can I go? Come on. I've got the carry-on mod, so I can just pick these guys up and carry them. So I don't think this should be as hard as I initially expected. Oh, this is. It feels a little bit. This feels a bit wrong. Oh, go on then. You go in there. Nice, and that's our first cow. And we've got another cow over here. So we're just gonna yoink him as well. Thank you, sir. I'll be transporting you tonight. That is nice and easy. That's our first couple cows, and we can actually just breed them now, I suppose. Come on, guys. I'll look away. And a baby is born. Alright, let's get some of these moo blooms. Alright, you're in. Okay, alright, that's our 2 moo blooms. You two, you're coming in the farm. Alright, so now we've got 2 pigs, 2 moo blooms, 2 sheep, 2 cows. I think we got to get some chickens as well. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch of animals now. Got a couple pigs, some sheep, some chickens, some cows, and these moo blooms. So yeah, it's all looking a lot more like an actual farm. And then if you go inside, we've now got a couple of these horses just kind of chilling out, so that's good. Yeah, so it's all coming together, I think. All right, so I've added a little bit of like kind of variation to the oak roofs, just kind of mixed in. Oh, I missed a bit there, but I've mixed in a bit of like birch wood, just to vary it up a bit. And I think it looks pretty good. I mean, that is the barn pretty much done. Alright, so I think the next thing that I want to do is basically just make a few kind of patches of fields just laid out like around the barn. I think I'm going to have like a few patches kind of separated, probably with some leaves. Hopefully they're kind of like going all the way around here. I think that probably just makes sense in the context of it being a farm. Like it needs to have wheat to basically feed all the animals. So I think it makes sense to have some fields of wheat. So I'm probably going to do that in another time lapse. So yeah, let's get that going. Alright, so now all the fields are in. I think they're looking pretty good. It definitely adds a lot more like to the environment. I feel like the fields kind of just, they almost like embed the entire build like into the environment. It makes it feel like it's actually part of the world, and maybe that someone, or there's is an actual working farm. So I think that's looking pretty good, and I'm happy with how it's looking so far. One thing I want to add now is I want to see if I can add some kind of armor stands. I want to add a scarecrow or a couple scarecrows into the fields, just to add a bit more detail, I guess. I've got a mod that basically allows you to customize armor stands, so you can put them in all sorts of kind of different crazy poses, and you can customize like the size. You can have small armor stands like that, or you can make it invisible, and you can get rid of the base plate and things like that. So I want to use this in order to make a scarecrow. So I think what we can do first is if we place our fence down there, and then if we go into our armor stand, and basically I want the arms to be like stretched out wide, and then kind of like that should be good. And then with the legs, I think we can just have them kind of close into the body, something like this. And then if I go into style, I want to get rid of the base plate and select no gravity. And then we can add our carved pumpkin, and we can add our leather tunic on there. And then if we take a piston and we power it, then it pushes the armor stand onto the same block that the fence puts us on. And so if we go into alignments and then align it to center, then it just aligns it to the center of the block. So you can't really see the legs as much. I mean, they're still there, but they're a little bit hidden. It would be nice if you could kind of like fully get rid of the legs, but I still think it looks pretty good. And then after this, if we place down another armor stand, and then we can place, I've got this mod that adds it allows you to craft up all of the villager hats. So I've got this farmer hat, and then we can place that on top of the armor stand in style, no gravity, no base plate, and invisible. And then we go into position, and so we can change the position from here. So basically, if I just keep clicking the increment, we can move it so it's like intersected with the pumpkin. We can move it up now, so something like that. Okay, I think what I want to do for this one, if we go into here, I want to move the head forward, like maybe something like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's kind of like what I'm going to be doing. Well, that's how I'd make the scarecrow. I think it looks pretty good. I just need to do it in the fields now. All right, and there we go. Then we've got a couple of these scarecrows in our fields now. I think that looks pretty good. I've got them like one block up just so you can kind of see them over the wheat. But yeah, they look pretty good. I think that adds just a little bit more detail. Well, alright, I think that's the build like completely done now. It's looking pretty good. We got all these animals here. We got a big barn which is all like decked out with our horses and the kind of worn floor, and I think it looks super good. And then we got our wheat fields, and then our scarecrows, and I think it's all looking super good. I think this is probably just going to be like a start of maybe like some kind of village that I'm going to build. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Well, I think that is all I've got time for in this episode. We've got quite a bit done, but I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.